So this week, apparently a tale of two town halls. Critics are hitting CNN for putting Joe Biden in what seemed to be overly friendly territory, but say ABC used a more aggressive approach that challenged the president earlier in the week. I want to bring in Ari Fleischer, former White House press secretary under President George Bush and a Fox News contributor. Ari, happy Friday to you. Politico summarized it this way. Talk about losers. The top moments from CNN's Kid Gloves town hall with Biden. Say on Tuesday, voters got in Trump's face for the first time. On Thursday, they practically gave Biden a hero's welcome in Scranton, PA. Do you see it that way, Ari?
Absolutely. Home game on CNN, away game on ABC. Look, I'm used to dealing with a reporter's bill. It's what my chosen career was all about in Washington, D.C. What George Stephanopoulos and ABC did is what everybody used to do in politics. You give somebody running for president a hard time. You ask them tough, challenging questions. What CNN did was just in the tankism. They had 16 questioners. 13 were Democrats. Now, those people don't stand up there magically. CNN picks them. They ask them what party they are. They ask them what the question's going to be. It's not a surprise. This was terrible journalism by CNN.
In the tankism. I've not heard that phrase before. Joe Biden has this phrase, it's Scranton versus Park Avenue. That's how he sees the election. I think Park Avenue on the upper east side of Manhattan is largely Democrat. If you come to the city, you would find that to be the case. Ari, I heard the president a moment ago talk about the scam repeatedly with mail-in ballots and the way some states are handling it. From my perspective, it was the strongest language yet I have heard from him regarding the issue. What do you think 46 some odd days away about characterizing it that way? Is it dangerous or not, or how do we handle this when we hear it?
Two things. We know from history that mail-in voting is 3 times more likely for a vote to be thrown out than in-person voting. There's just a lot of room for human error, always has been. It'll be worse in 2020 because so many new people will be engaged in mail-in voting. But this is what the president goes too far and uses hyperbolic language. It is not fraud. It is not a rigged election, and it is not a scam. It is human errors that are going to result in more than 1 million votes in 2020 being legitimately thrown out because voters didn't sign their absentee ballot, they sent it in too late, and this can lead to chaos as then Democrat lawyers swoop in to close elections and say count every vote, including the ones that violated the rules. But that is not a scam, and it is not fraud. It is a compounding of human errors that can result in really testing our democracy. So the president uses the wrong words, but he's on to the right contentious issue.
Interesting, but he draws
a distinction if you want your ballot to count.
Got it. He draws a distinction between absentee ballots and unsolicited ballots. Do you think that's a definition that can be understood, Ari?
Yeah, I think most people can relate to that. Certainly if you've ever applied for an absentee ballot versus you just get an actual live ballot, a live ticking ballot in the mail. And the truth here, Bill, is there are states like Washington State that have been doing this for more than a decade that are very good at mailing unsolicited ballots to everybody. And their mailing lists are routinely maintained, so they really don't go to very many people who shouldn't get them, if at any at all. Versus a new state like Nevada, who's going to try to do something they haven't done before. And when they did it in the primary, they sent ballots to all registered voters, and it led to hundreds of thousands of ballots going to wrong people. They think they've got a process designed now for the general election that's better, but nobody knows because they haven't practiced it. That's a distinction, and that's where we can be in trouble on election.
That's something we've got to keep an eye on. Thanks, Ari. I hope you have a great weekend. Thanks for hanging out with us.